Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Mike here, and we talk about fitness and health for men over 50. Little tiny cups of coffee in Vietnam in these hotel rooms. Today, going to talk about obstacles, and everybody sees obstacles differently. Some people see obstacles as a way to improve, and some people have an obstacle and it completely shuts them down. You know, at our age, we've all had a ton of stuff thrown at us. Injuries. At our age, you've normally had numerous injuries, health scares, job stress. Everybody's had job stress. You've tried different diet plans, routine exercise programs, different things, and nothing seemed to work for you, or it worked for a while and it stopped. Most guys see it as a stop sign, but what if every obstacle was actually a green light hidden in disguise? Mike Norris Fit, help men over 50 lose weight, get fit, and live a healthier lifestyle. Hope you give the channel a like, and if you're new here, appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. So what do most guys do when obstacles hit? They quit or there's a couple things they do. They'll either quit, they'll pause their progress, and sometimes you have to. They feel discouraged, feel defeated. Here I am trying it again, and I've hurt my leg again. I've hurt this again. And you have this always happens to me syndrome. Matter of fact, there's a YouTube video that I watch a lot of this girl who lives in they got all these people that live in campers and vans and traveling all over the country. And she's real interesting. She's funny, but she's got this old truck. And I'm like, why don't she get something new? But she loves it, and it breaks down all the time. Well, here we go again. But she will not refuse to get rid of that old truck because she loves it. And she's every time it breaks down, why does this always happen to me? Well, get rid of that thing for one thing. It's about 40 years old, especially traveling all up into Alaska and across Canada and the U.S. and everywhere else. You know, so obstacles feel like failure a lot of times, but they're often just a test or a reflection or a chance to change. So if you reframe it, I said, what if it's an opportunity? Say you get an injury, and man, I've had enough of those. But an injury, you have a chance to improve something else, your mobility, your recovery, your nutrition. If you hurt your upper body, you can work on your legs for a while and leave your upper body alone if you can't do anything, or vice versa. There's so many things you can do. You can work on your core. You can work on your nutrition really hard. You can really work on your cardio, a lot of walking or whatever you do, biking, whatever you do. It's an opportunity for you to improve something else. Plateau, I talk a lot about that from being a weight loss coach, because everybody hits that. They hit plateaus. And a lot of people just get mad and quit. They just give up, and they don't realize there's a reason for the plateau, and you just got to figure it out. And sometimes all it takes is changing something, and sometimes it doesn't. It's just pushing through, keep doing what you're doing. It takes more time. Everybody wants something to happen right away. Sometimes it takes time. So summertime, busy season, traveling, vacations, doing all kind of different things, and especially the holidays, New Year's, Thanksgiving, Christmas. A lot of people just let themselves go for about a month there, but it's an opportunity to do different things. You can't get to the gym, you do body weight, or you do bands, you just do different things. It's a good time to grow stronger, smarter, and get more focused. So you just got to ask yourself, what's the lesson here? What can I do? What can I improve? Even though I've got this knee acting up again, what can I do? A lot of knee problems come from people being overweight. A lot of knee problems come from that. So it's not the other way around. As my buddy said, I can't lose the weight because of this knee. I'm like, no. Your knee is bad because you gained all the weight. The knee injury came after the weight gain, but people get it confused, just for an example or story, I've had a ton of injuries. My shoulder being the main one. But think about when I was in the military and we deployed in 2003 to Iraq. And you go from going to the gym constantly, and you're there, and you got a job to do, and but it's not. but you kind of get to where you're going. You're wherever you're staying for a while. You know, even if it's just for a few weeks before you move again. But there's no gym. There was no equipment. There was nothing. Guys improvised. They made things out of sandbags. They lifted whatever they could lift. Tons of push-ups and pull-ups. We were doing tons of push-ups and pull-ups. Just whatever you could do until everything kind of settled down, and then equipment started arriving, and some places made little gyms and different things. And injuries like my shoulder, I've hurt both shoulders. Fortunately, my left shoulder, I cured it in Mexico, you know, but unfortunately it didn't work on the right shoulder, which the guy told me, said, yeah, I don't think I can help your right shoulder. You got some structural damage in there. But, you know, we just have setbacks. I've broken bones. I've twisted my ankle God knows how many times when I was young playing basketball and stuff, and had a cast on it for 6 weeks when I was in the Marine Corps. It's just, you know, you just have all kind of setbacks and different things that set you back. But, you know, if you push yourself and just, like I said before, work on something else, something different, it's not that big a deal, you know. I remember we had a little, actually terrible gym, just a universal machine when I was in the Marine Corps, right there in the hangar, and just had a cast on one foot, and I'd go in there and screw around, you know, on the universal machine. That's before I was really a weightlifter or anything. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just in there screwing around, but because I was a big runner. I was a big runner back then. I ran a lot. Of course, I did tons of push-ups and sit-ups too, but I was a big runner. But when you got a cast on your leg for a torn ligament for 6 weeks, you can't do much running. So, you know, these times when I got hurt and, you know, was forced to slow down, and I figured out how to train smarter. I figured out ways around things. All the time it may not have been smarter. Sometimes it might have been stupid. I might have pushed things a little bit too hard. I'm really bad about that, coming back working an injury before I should. But you learn as you get older. So how can you use this right now? If you've got a setback right now, whatever it is, even it doesn't have to be an injury, but anything that sets you back, just ask yourself, what's it trying to teach me? What can I do? What can I do to get around this? Or what can I do to work other parts of my body, or work on my mind, do some walking, do a lot of meditating? What can I do? Just use those setbacks to strengthen your mindset and your patience. It'll try your patience and your systems, you know, that you have for working out. Just look at everything. I do that every year. I'll sit down and look at what can I change up eating wise or drinking wise, or more protein shakes, or more smooth, more this, more that. I look at things like that. I actually take little notes in my journal, and just remind yourself that obstacles don't stop strong men, they shape them. And we all know that the losses in your life are what you learn from. You don't learn much when you win. You learn when you lose or when you have setbacks. So to recap, you know, every challenge has a message for us if we just search for the message, and we can find an answer. And stop looking at it as a roadblock and getting all pissed off. That's not going to do anything. Just see it as training tools. You know, it's an obstacle we got to get around. You know, we all have all kind of obstacles in our lives, and just because you're 65, 70 years old don't mean you're not going to have obstacles. You're still going to have obstacles. And a lot of them may be health related, and you got to figure out a way around them, and a way to improve your health no matter your age. So, you know, your best growth a lot of times comes from your worst timing. Things just couldn't happen at a worse time, but in the end you figure out a way around it, or you get over it and you grow. So I'd just ask you to comment below, what's an obstacle you're facing right now? Is there something you're facing, and what might it be teaching you, and how you're going to get around it? Hope you got something out of this little message, and give the video a like so more people can see it, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'm heading back to the U.S. in 48 hours. Talk to you later.